2 Timothy chapter 4 verse 13. When you come, bring the cloak that I left with Carpus at Troas, also the books and above all the parchments. We have here the third directive for Timothy from this section, which is to bring Paul's necessities. Paul mentions the name Carpus from Troas. We know nothing more about him than what we have here. This is the only time he is mentioned. He may be a resident of Troas, a member of the local church. There are three things Paul is asking here: his cloak, books, and parchments. Perhaps Paul was forced to leave without his cloak in Troas after his arrest. In verse 21, Paul tells Timothy, "Do your best to come before winter." He probably needed his cloak because the place is likely to get colder. Cloak is a heavy blanket-like garment made out of wool to keep warm. That is probably the only cloak Paul has. And apparently it wasn't easy for people to just go out and get a cloak, considering the church's economic conditions back then. And we can compare it to our present-day lifestyle. And Paul is asking for his books, and then he says, above all, the parchments. Paul was emphasizing that it is the parchments that he especially wanted. These are the precious manuscripts. This may be the copy of the Old Testament scriptures or some important Christian literature from the life of Jesus, and possibly some books containing Paul's own personal notes, maybe even some blank parchments that Paul could write on. This clearly shows the heart of Paul. Through all of his pain and suffering in that prison during his final days, he could care so much for the Lord. Have a blessed day.